Going live. Man, it's hard to go live. I was like trying to get into it in the during the last conversation, but I just didn't. I couldn't even finish going live. It's hard to go live. So anyway, I want to talk about some things. Um, and you know what? I think like while I'm this time around, like, because I was like sort of, you know, sort of trying to get out what I wanted to say, but I was also like talking too much about how I was sharing everything out. So it was like 4 minutes in, and I didn't even really kind of have much to say. So I don't really want to do that to you guys again. So I want to just get started. My name is Metal Rose. Um, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I am a survivor of um, multiple crazy attacks. Like, I can get into all the crazy things. It wasn't even just domestic violence. I've been a survivor of major violence throughout my whole entire life. Um, since I was, not like so much like at my home life, but ever since I can say I started going to school. Um, Violence has become a major part of my life because of um, my situation at school, unfortunately. And recently, I actually had to rehash some of those memories. A major memory that I can pinpoint from school was like kind of like I would say like I was kind of abused by people like that were of authority of like guidance counselors and stuff like that. That was tough. Um, a lot of times kids would make up rumors in school, and those rumors would unfortunately, take on a life of their own. You know how that goes, right? And sometimes I'd have to get taken aside, and guidance counselors would um, ask me, "Hey, is this rumor about you true?" And one of the times, like, like the rumors were never true. I'll just put it that way. And one of the times, the rumor was so heinous, and I'm not kidding, it was so heinous. And this guidance counselor looked straight in my face and, like, kind of smirked about it. Now, again, the allegation was false, but it was damaging enough where it made me not really feel very comfortable about hugging family members anymore. Nobody ever did anything wrong to me or anything, but it made me second guess who I was. It made me second guess actually going to authorities, guidance counselors, anybody when there was a problem. Um, so a lot of times things sort of like would snowball, you know, until it became too late. Um, that seems to be a major theme still in my life. I have to I can't like, lie. I can't un feel or undo any of the things that have happened to me. Um and I would say that these things still affect me today. Now, I wonder, like, what do you guys think? And like, I'm sure people are going to watch this later because it's late at night. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like pause. I'm sure a lot of people are going to watch this later on, and but like, if you were in my position and like there were things like what I described that were still like kind of affecting your life today, and say that guidance counselor still worked at the school, would you guys, go ahead and maybe say something to like the school? I mean, it was just so inappropriate. Like, I'd like to know what can, you know, be done for me now. And I know that probably sounds, I hope that doesn't sound petty. It's still really affecting me. So I just wonder what people think about that. There's also some other stuff going on, which I could say, like, like that whole situation sort of affects my social skills. As I said, like, I don't feel comfortable talking to people about um what could possibly be going on in my life, and um it affects me uh just in general when it comes to socialization, social skills. Still, I guess, because I feel embarrassed to discuss things when things are going on, blah blah blah. I just, I've spoken to counselors about it. There's not like a whole lot that can be done by way of, I don't know, like, how do you rationalize some of these things? That's all I'm trying to say. So there's not like a lot of things that can really be done other than maybe confronting the person, confronting the situation, and maybe healing and moving forward. I'm not expecting money or anything outrageous, but um, I think I need something. Maybe an apology would work. I don't know, but I need something because my life is still like generally affected by this one thing. Um, and it's more than just that one thing. Like when it comes to school stuff, it's like more like I used to get like kicked and like beaten up, and it's given me a really poor image of myself. Generally, I'm like a good person and a good partner, I would think anyway, despite the trauma, despite the different issues I've gone through. I mean, look at me. I'm dressed in a French maid outfit. I just served my boyfriend and his friend some dinner. And I know it's like a late dinner, but we're on a later schedule. And in general, like, I'm trying my best to not let things affect me. I know I am who I am, With that being said, there's been a lot going on actually when it comes to my band situation. I didn't really realize anything was going on. Um, I realized that one member wasn't really practicing very much. I realized that, like, things have been like tough lately, so maybe, my boyfriend and I, who are in the band, maybe we're not always like coming in with like the happiest of faces. I mean, there's been a death in the family, and there's just been a million things going on, and there's been a lot of like scheduling conflicts, which kind of like, like never carried over into like our personal band practice. It did unfortunately carry over into like one of Dave's other band practices. These things happen. I don't know what to say. Relationships are tough. Um, and it is what it is. I think whatever may have happened between us when he was with his other band somehow carried into my band, and now people are upset. And they've stepped down. One claims that they're just busy, and the other claims, I don't know, the other claims bullshit, basically. Like, I call bullshit because this person wasn't practicing. This person wasn't putting effort into the band. This person wasn't showing up to every single practice. They're a nice person. It's not like I'm saying anything mean about them. However, they kind of jumped to conclusions and had nasty things to say about me and assumptions about me. When I conduct and run a band, I am a welcoming person. I do my best to feed everybody in the band, provide what I can. Maybe we'll smoke some weed. I don't know. Maybe sometimes we'll go out to beer. Maybe we go out to dinner together. I pay for what I can, not everything. Although I pay for anything that's band related, like, if there's a banner or we're gonna get merchandise and stuff. Like, I try to pay for what I can unless somebody is offering to help. And I'm generally a really fair person, and Dave English and I, try not to bring our personal problems, you know, out in public for everybody. But it happens. Like, like shit happens. Um, I'm willing to take responsibility for my actions. I mean, fuck. Shit happens. Shit fucking happens, man. But, a lesson to be learned here from involved parties, people that think they're involved, or people that want to get involved, or they're worried, or they're, whatever it is. There's a couple of things that you need to think about. If you're worried about somebody, instead of like, and you really have questions and you're not 100% sure, maybe you should confront the people that you're concerned about before just going and making assumptions and talking shit. Like, why not, like, if you're really friends with people, take people aside and let them know what's going on or what you're feeling. Um, and number two, like, if you really are concerned, like, as a domestic violence survivor, I'm really insulted about the way these things, this thing in particular was handled. I mean, if somebody was actually in trouble, if there was actually like a real problem, this shouldn't be handled this way. You could actually be putting somebody who's in a domestic violence situation, a real domestic violence situation, in a more dangerous situation by making it so super public like that, like confronting people in front of their partners, stuff like that. That's not how you do it. If you're really concerned about somebody, you actually like take them aside and say, like, I'm worried about you. Let's talk. You know? So it just almost feels like phony worrying, phony bullshit. Because if you're really concerned about me or Dave, you would actually take us aside and see how we were doing. And um, in all honesty, I would just, do that. Why don't you take us aside and see how we're doing? If that's really how you feel. Um, with that being said, I'm going to continue to do my work for John Schaefer and do what I can and continue on with Order of the Rose. I'm not going to hang this up. My mission is to support and help John Schaefer and Iced Earth's legacy. And I'm not going to let people that really know nothing about my life or whatever, I'm not going to let anybody bring me down, stop my career, or talk shit, make up lies, basically, and take it lying down. I'm just not doing it. Again, French made outfit, weed, just cooked, family female. I love having a family. And overall, I love my boyfriend. So, fuck anybody who doesn't believe that. I know my boyfriend loves me too. Anyway, I guess I'll just sit here and smoke. So I don't know. Maybe we're gonna end up doing some kind of podcast, maybe some kind of something. I'm not sure. Sorry, I just got a funny text message and I was trying to make it out. That's funny. That's just Dave Myers hitting me up, my bass player. He's mad cool. Oh my god. I kind of want to talk shit about somebody, myself, but it's not that bad. So, like, you know, I'm not actually gonna do it, but I'm gonna say this much. Guys are stupid, and I'm not talking about like my band guys or anything. I've had a couple of stupid interactions over the last couple of weeks. One of them is like a fan of mine, and he decided to tell me like, I was sexy, and I was like, cool, thanks. And like his whole like, he wanted to be like scandalous or something about it. Like, I was like, oh, thanks so much. And then he goes, well, what are we gonna do about it? I go, nothing. Because I have a boyfriend. I have, a life. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? These guys are ridiculous, man. Who the hell are they, and how the hell do they even survive this world? And this guy, like, just on a side note, he has a fucking wife, dude. What are we gonna do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna accept your compliment and be nice about it. Sorry. Um, what's another thing? What's with New Jersey guys? So New Jersey guys, not like necessarily not my New Jersey guy, but like New Jersey guys, they're so fucking crazy. They're like my friend just posted a meme and like I don't know, it just made me laugh. Like and I was like, that's New Jersey like men in a nutshell. It's men. We suffer abuse too. Domestic violence is a genderless issue. Now I do believe that. Okay? But I've seen this happen a billion times. You just read about it, whatever. Also, men, and this it's New Jersey though. You don't read about this all over the place, but also men. Hello, police. My wife scratched me while I was strangling her. Please come arrest her for abusing me. I don't know. I'm sorry. That meme just made me die. Because that's fucking New Jersey in a nutshell. Maybe it's even New York in a nutshell, but that's what these guys are. Like, they're not men anymore. They beat their women and then they, like, do shit like that. Again, I'm not, I'm just referencing New Jersey in a nutshell. I really want to get out of here. Oh, I miss you too, Ruthie. Oh. I'm sorry if I'm, like, all over the place making no sense. I've had a rough fucking couple of weeks. What else is going on over here? Oh, there's been some fun stuff. Like I went to a wedding, that was fun with Dave. Dave and I just went for a walk over at Laurelwood Arboretum a couple of days ago. We also like last week we went to Jungle Habitat to go to Lunar Fair and I think we're going to try to do a couple of little vacation things this year before the end of the summer. My son's birthday's coming up. I'm really disappointed that I'm not going to have, like, bandmates to share that with. Like, I mean, I have some bandmates, but I was hoping maybe we could, do a little bit of a birthday thing for him, but I guess that's out. Maybe next year. And god damn it, guys, I'm not going to give up my Iced Earth tribute band because I feel like God tapped me on the shoulder. I know it probably sounds ridiculous, but I feel like God tapped me on the shoulder and told me that I had to help John Schaefer's legacy. And I just believe that that is my mission. It has to be my mission now. I don't know. Maybe that's just about it. But listen, man. Metal Rose doesn't take talking shit lying down. Metal Rose is always really strong and gets back up and fuck anybody who doesn't think I can. Metal Rose is in a happy and loving relationship. Finally, after years and years and years of domestic violence and bullshit, Metal Rose is a happy female. And fuck you spineless idiots that need to talk shit to get their jollies up. I really don't appreciate it. I will support people because I'll put it this way. I'm not going to start fights because I love my boyfriend. But I've said my piece, and I think everybody knows. I love you all. I resent people who try to screw with my relationship. I resent people that don't have a full picture of things and judge. But deep in my heart, I don't hold resentment toward anybody. I love everybody. I will see you soon. I will be back on that stage really, really soon. Guitarists, hit me up because if you want to be in a band where somebody is going to get you dinner, treat you good, make you feel good, promote the fuck out of you, um, a band that already has a distribution deal. So yes, I want to do Iced Earth music, but I also want to do original music. So that's a major thing. And if you just want a friend, I'm always going to be your friend too. Um, just don't stab me in the back. That's my only request, really. So anyway, you know what? Maybe I will do that one shit talk. So the one shit talk is just like, so I'm really thinking about moving out of state if people are just gonna be shitty in New Jersey, and I mentioned that to somebody, and I mentioned that I have a really really great opportunity too, and then like they ignored me for like a couple of fucking days, right? I just thought I'd test the waters. I sent a selfie out, nothing crazy, a selfie. And now they're like, oh, hey! You know what? Like, why are people so unsupportive? It's hurtful. Especially when you support them. So that's my little shit talk. That was like a little thing. Just, that's how men are. They're weird. Like, I don't get that. I just don't understand that shit. Ooh, a selfie. Let me answer now. Fucking whatever, dude. Like, why am I so worthless? Like, and I don't really think I'm worthless, but why am I so worthless to some people that that's all that you'll respond to, you know? Anyways, I should probably finish this joint and go hang out with Dave and his friend because they're having a pretty cool night, and we were having a good night too. And I just kind of wanted to step aside and talk about how it's been such a lovely week. I know it's only Tuesday, but since Saturday, like, I made some weed brownies, and, my son has been, away from home with his father for the last couple of days, and we had some friends over, and we took some of the edible brownies, and, we've been watching movies and trying to enjoy ourselves, and it kind of like it was sort of sad that like this whole like band thing erupted. We were just so happy and having such a good time. Um, but that's just what happens. Like that's life for you. um, so let's see what else. Probably like losing people on my live stream for talking shit. I don't know about that. Um, big news. Coming soon. I'm going to have my own company. I'm going to start helping manage bands and manage people. That's like another major thing, and I should have that company up and running by September. And I think that's it. So, I love you guys. I'm done with this joint pretty much, and I'm gonna go hang out with my boyfriend and his friend, and maybe I'm gonna take like the last of my weed brownie. I love you guys. Iced Earth forever. Oh, and one other thing. Stop being a fucking pussy.